A difficult night ahead as we mark 11 years since the mass shooting at Century 16 Theater in Aurora. On July 20th, a gunman opened fire during a midnight screening of The Dark Knight Rises.
12 people were killed, and among the victims, 3 veterans, 2 fathers, a mother, a 6-year-old girl, and a University of Denver graduate who jumped in to protect his girlfriend from the bullets. 70 other people were injured, and the gunman is serving life in prison. And for the family members of those killed, it has been a long and painful journey.
Some have found purpose by turning their pain into action and working toward change. Now this year, parents of a woman killed watched as their daughter's name became memorialized in Colorado law. And today they reflected on that moment with our Rob Harris.
Exactly 11 years ago, Jessi Ghawi came to the Century 16 Theater in Aurora. She's going to see a midnight premiere. And now, 11 years later, Jessi Ghawi is one of 12 faces here at the Reflection Garden in Aurora. Her parents are still, to this day, trying to process life without her.
The pain never goes away, and your gut starts to hurt, and it moves to your heart, into your throat. Then your eyes get wet when you're thinking about life with Jessi, and then life without Jessi.
Jessi was one of 12 people killed that night when a man entered the theater, detonated smoke bombs, and began shooting into the crowd, emptying 4 weapons full of ammunition, according to police.
When Jessi was killed, we knew that the killer had been able to order over 4,000 rounds of ammunition, and he ordered them from an online company that didn't even bother to check his ID to make sure he was of age. Didn't do any background checks whatsoever.
The Phillips sued the ammunition provider, Lucky Gunner. They didn't sue for money, but instead for stronger checks on their sales processes. But the court ruled in favor of Lucky Gunner, citing a Colorado law in the books that shielded gun makers and sellers. The Phillips were ordered to pay the company more than $200,000 in legal fees.
It was wrong. It just took the rights away from all guns of violence, survivors of violence, and disallowed their day in court.
The Phillips started a mission for their daughter to change Colorado law and open up providers to lawsuits when they're accused of negligence after shootings. And more than a decade after their daughter's death, her name was codified into law, Jessi's law.
We were in the gallery when they announced it. Both of us, our eyes welled up, and there's no feeling like it.
The Phillips are still on a mission for their daughter.
Most of you here today did not know our daughter.
For the many other families that have been torn apart by gun violence. But on the anniversary of the day they lost Jessi, they're taking extra time to reflect, and they hope others join them.
Just take a moment in the next 48 hours and sit quietly with the knowledge that there were a lot of people traumatized that night, and that the legacy goes on.
For Denver 7,
we sure would like to have others join us in this fight.
I'm Rob Harris.
And taking an in-depth look at gun control efforts here in Colorado, there is still opposition to Jessi's law and other gun reforms passed in this year's legislative session. We spoke with Edgar Antillon with Guns for Everyone today. He and other gun rights advocates say this could jeopardize business owners for the wrongdoing of others.
It affects the way we operate. It affects the future of the business as well. This means that any time that something happens, like the Aurora shooting, unfortunately, these unfortunate events, a gun store could potentially be held liable for selling the gun to a particular person. So that makes the punishment towards the gun store and not the criminal itself, which is insane.
Gun rights advocates have already pledged to sue over gun control measures passed and say a lawsuit over Jessi's law could be filed if a gun maker or seller is sued following a shooting.
And looking closer here, in addition to Jessi's law, in April, Governor Polis also signed 3 other laws designed to make it more difficult to obtain firearms, and those are already facing legal challenges. Now, one of them increases the minimum age to buy a firearm from 18 to 21. A second requires a 3-day waiting period for purchases, and the third expands red flag laws to allow more people to petition a judge to temporarily seize firearms from a person who is deemed a threat.
And the Aurora Theater shooting continues to take a toll on those who survived that night. Last year, we spoke with Marcus Weaver, who had gone to the movie with that friend that night, Rebecca Wingo. Marcus was shot in the arm. Rebecca did not survive. And he said it wasn't until her funeral that he would cry for the first time after the shooting. And 10 years later, Marcus Weaver paid his respects at the 720 Memorial to his friend and all of those lost that night.
When things aren't going well in my life and when things are, topsy-turvy in this world, I can come here and find some solace and hang out with Rebecca and some of the other folks who were here, who were with me 10 years ago in that theater.
And Marcus said even though he is grateful for how his life has turned out, he still thinks about the theater shooting every day of his life. And you can watch Denver 7's Micah Smith's sit-down interview with Marcus to reflect on his long road to healing and his recovery. Just look for this story on denver7.com.
And there is a vigil tonight to honor the lives lost 11 years ago. It begins at 11:30 at the Aurora Municipal Center Garden. Around 11:45, there will be a candlelight procession from the Waterwise Garden to the memorial. Also, first responders will have a procession after midnight, and everybody is invited to attend.